Don't forget, heads, you can tune in to the Beard Speaks audio podcast every Monday, Friday, and every weekend on a variety of platforms, including Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, and more. Hashtag Beard Speaks is the name, and if you can't find it on your favorite platform, you can always find it on anchor.fm/BeastHostBeard. Like, favorite, subscribe, and leave a positive review for your motherfucking boy. What up, heads? It's me, the beard with more enemies than it's got motherfucking hairs in it. My moniker is Chuck Reeves. On my booking sheet, I mean, shit, the cops write a lot, all right? It says Big Chuck Stud on there. It says that motherfucker Roberto reup, but in big, bold, underlined capital letters with red circled around it, the D's typed. Beast host. Welcome to that big beard speech congregational meeting, or the Beard Speaks for short. Salute and flame emojis to everybody out there, especially the new subs, the new audio listeners, and to all my motherfucking regulars. And a huge thank you and shout out to the Blue Wrench crew and all those Patreon hard bodies. This Thursday night, the first Patreon only live streams going down. There is still time for you to get in on the interactive fun right here on YouTube, but by invite only. Patreon.com/BeastHostBeard is the spot to find out about all that shit. Make sure if you are out there, tune in to all Chuck Reeves' social media mischief. Insta, Face Space, it's all the same motherfucking thing. Beast, Host, Beard. There's going to be some closeout merch items. They're going to be hitting some social media spots soon. If you've been waiting to cop some of the hater gear, whether it's the charms, the shirts, the fucking towels, whether you want one of the final Beast Host hat pins, I cannot guarantee that Sequence 1 merch will be available much longer. So if you've been waiting to cop, now's the fucking time. Sequence 2 merch is inbound, like I said. Tees, posters, charms, towels. I got like literally 2 fucking Beast Host hat pins sitting on my desk. So if you want them, hit me up. The listing will be going up soon. These potentially, I mean, if you are a fan of the show and you like to think in advance, are potential museum items, because nothing is ever going to look exactly the same ever again. All right. Last week, had the chance, Boston, Mass, dope appearance by Blaze Your Dead Homie, Anybody Killer, bringing that drive-by Juggalo unity through, and Jaron Benton bringing through his Yuck Food Tour with Aaron Cohen. That shit was at Sonia in Cambridge. Saw a lot of friendly faces. Got a lot of positive feedback from the individuals there. And hopefully made a new fan or two. Footage of all that shit with analysis and comment is going to pop up on one of my outlets relatively quickly, relatively soon. So be on the fucking lookout for that. Next on the Beard's travel docket, Astronomicon's going down, of course, February 8, 9, and 10, Sterling Heights, Michigan. I cannot sell this event enough. It's an amazing, unique, and crazy time, but it is really super age appropriate for everybody, and I don't get to say that very often. Obviously, once the lights go out and the kitty should be asleep anyway, shit gets a little crazy in the hotel, and that's always the plan and always will be the plan. But during the day, everything in that motherfucker, age appropriate, even my language. You can hit up astronomicon.com for tickets, VIPs, photo opportunities, and other information. That's astronomicon.com. This ain't just Comic-Con, man. It's Astronomicon. After that, flying back here, I return home to New England to preside over a duo of performances by the Axis Family Tour. First, February 26th, that night in Lebanon, Maine, at a very special cannabis-friendly venue. I'll just say that. Puff Puff Give in that motherfucker, if you know what I'm talking about. We will be taking advantage of Maine's very liberal recreational marijuana laws, and I will be in the house with my homie Derek from the Can of Cooking Monster, and we will be offering all the fine medibles and drinks. Also in the house that night, coming through as part of my extended 656 Records family, is their homeboy Bobby Buds. He is only going to be bringing in that fire gasoline fucking flowers and fucking concentrates. We are gonna get lit. We are gonna burn trees, and we're gonna fucking party. And that might as well be a Necronomicron show. That's what that fucking shit might as well be. It might as well be a Necronomicron show, because we are gonna smoke. We are gonna smoke that fucking place out. The next night, after I peel myself off of whatever floor I end up on, Boston, we're gonna mob down there, Middle East upstairs, and we're gonna have an intimate gathering and church service featuring the Al Azul Ilu, the Axe Murder Boys, Triple MFD, and more. I mean, shit, you know what it is. The beard is fucking out here. We're trying to do 2019 shit, and on that 2019 shit tip, do me a favor. If you think I have a good show, slide on through to Replicon Radio's Best of 2018 poll, repliconradio.com, and vote for me. All right? I know I was only really around on YouTube for like 6 months, aside from the couple of months I did over there on Replicon. But man, at least I've never fallen asleep during a fucking live stream. That's gotta count for something. Now on to the show. Tonight, Jake Bassett, founder and proprietor of my favorite beard care company, BeardLove. I've known Jake for nearly 2 years, and this was an amazing first visit to the Beard Speaks. Fucking took long enough. We talked about Jake's personal beard journey, how he went from a shaver to a grower to a supplier. We talked about Blaze Ya Dead Homie's current weird beard situation, the BeardLove product line, and much, much more. It was a pleasure to sit down and talk beard to beard with my beard Sherpa about beard stuff here on the Beard Speaks. Shit, that's a lot of beard. I give you episode 204, BeardLove, Beast Host, Beardception. The Beard Speaks. Now.
Oh, come on, he's a miserable cocksucker fucking asshole. You hate him, admit it.
I talk really loud. I work in a loud environment, so it's sort of natural for me to go about 3 decibels too loud.
Do you wear hearing protection? Are you a PPE person? Personal protective equipment? You just like me then, man. We can't hear shit. That's why my show sounds like trash most of the time. I'm fucking convinced of it. Nah. Heads, if you didn't know, the very, very handsome, well-dressed, sporty individual to my immediate, depending on how you're watching this, right or left side, is the homeboy from BeardLove, the proprietor, the purveyor, the creator, and my beard Sherpa, his fucking self, Jake Bassett. For a long time, I called you Bassett because I didn't know any better. I don't know how many times you deal with that shit, but welcome to the fucking show, man. Like I said, we keep this pretty, we keep this part pretty loose. I don't do the fucking whole intro thing with the guests anymore because I know y'all don't want to have to put up with that fucking shit. But look at your beard, looking super tough. You got the haircut to assist with it. It's given a little space in between.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, man. It was starting to look pretty, I was starting to look pretty raggedy. I figured if I was going to be on camera with you for any period of time, I wanted to be presentable. I'm that cheap guy that only goes and gets my hair cut like every 4 months.
Why do you think I'm wearing a hat? I'm actually, if you can tell from my mustache, I know it's not coming in crystal clear 4K, but yeah. I'm letting it go right now in my attempt to reach Yosemite Sam status by next month. So I'm just letting it all grow. I'm looking like a fucking crazy scumbag at the moment. But before you decided to let your face go, so to speak, before all this, you were a shaver, I have to assume.
Well, ever since I was 15, I've had some form of facial hair. Now, whether that's I started out when I was 15 years old with just the like enlarged soul patch, sort of like the diamond on the chin.
Okay. All right.
And my parents hated it. My dad had this rule until I was like 16 years old, 17 years old, that I wasn't allowed to have anything past sideburns halfway down the ears. So I just kept letting them go.
That sounds like some
further.
military shit. That sounds like some shit that they would have seriously banged me for in the Navy. Straight up. That's a regulation. Halfway down the ear.
Yeah, well, that was just Dad's rule. Dad was never military. His dad wasn't military, and my mom's dad was, but she was not. She was not that person. You know what I mean? But I've always had some form of facial hair. As soon as it started growing, I started shaving at the age of 12. You know,
See, that was
it was not a lot. It was a couple of hairs here and there, but it was just enough that if I didn't shave at least once a week, I looked like a.
That was my issue. Was my father told me growing up, you don't want to shave, and I never understood why. And then as a teenager, I had a goatee, but it was the type of thing where I just let the shit grow. It was not an overly rough piece of hair. Join the Navy, and the Navy puts a damn razor in my hand and says shave twice a day, regardless. Do it dry, because, you know, we're fucking gangsters. And by the end of boot camp, I was getting 5 o'clock shadows at 1 o'clock in the fucking afternoon. Because with no hair on my face, they would still march your ass in front of a mirror in the morning, hand you your fucking disposable, and tell you to shave. And if you didn't shave, you'd get your ass chewed. We had dudes, but I've never had to shave. And then, nope, you have to shave now. You have to shave now. And then once you start shaving, you know how it goes. It's not even just the you got to keep shaving. You have to keep stepping it up. I was explaining this to my wife. I started, like most men, with a regular rolled. You screw the top open, stick a blade in there, screw the top closed, razor, like my dad taught me how to use. And then I thought I'd be swift, shifted to a straight razor situation on myself. Then you move up to your double blades, which were coming out towards the end of the 90s. Then we had our Mach 3s. And at this point, if a razor blade don't have 6 fucking rotating fucking saw blades and a laser trimmer on the side, I'm not getting the job done without much irritation. Have you found that when you do shave, that now it's like going through the deep brush?
Oh yeah, I mean not just that, but like when we did the Operation Fresh Start back in April, the amount of irritation that I got on my face just from not having had a razor on my skin for 2 years prior to that, and the fact that again, like you said, it's 27 blades. I don't know what the race is to create the most bladed razor on the planet. Like I don't know what people have against facial hair that we've got to cut it 17 times, but it's too much. I mean, my skin was tore up. If it hadn't been for the beard oil, man, I'd have been a hurting unit.
See, that's an interesting question. I don't know when we went. Obviously, from letting shit just go and grow and letting us grow our own natural protection for our skins into a society where hairlessness was next to godliness. And it's funny that you should mention that. I'm actually pulling up a little thing now called The History of Shaving, and I don't know how much you're familiar with this, but apparently it seems like humans have been pulling, plucking, burning, or tweezing undesirable hairs since the dawn of time. Now, undesirable doesn't mean every single one, but it definitely seems that about the year 4000 BC, even women were removing their hair, albeit without razors. They were using arsenic and things like quicklime. So basically, in ancient Egypt, Cleopatra, the original fucking cat lady, was using the first bootleg version of Nair that you could get, and burning the hair off of it.
That's some Flintstones technology, man.
Now, at the same time, a little bit later, about 3000 BC, the Egyptians, who never ever did anything halfway, they removed all their body hair from head to toe. Most of them did. Most of the pharaohs were hairless people. They really liked that sleek look, And apparently it had, in that day and age, a very practical purpose with the fact that it would prevent you from gathering up lice and other bugs because bathing and things were not, there. But now that we've advanced past the I got bugs, I got lice, I don't know why any man would not want a glorious facial pillow, if you will. I get my mixed bag of reception to my beard, of course. I'm sure you do as well. And I'm sure you've even encountered some ladies who may have dated you without a beard, but definitely would not date you without one. So to this point, I think shaving is kind of a social construct.
Yeah, well, definitely at this point, I think it is. I think I was actually standing in the grocery store yesterday, and I really got to thinking about this. I was looking around, and I noticed a lot of people with beards and different styles of facial hair, and also like the lady that was obviously one of the floor managers had tattoos all up her arm. She had a tattoo sleeve, and you got guys bagging your groceries that have got their ears gauged and stuff. And I realized that we're so young as a country that we've never really developed like our own, this is our cultural thing. And so it's been such an experiment that a lot of it was, okay, well, it was about being a proper gentleman, if you will. And a proper gentleman shaves his face. Now, I'm sure it probably goes back to the bathing thing again, and that a lot of people didn't have indoor plumbing. There wasn't the ability to get a shower very frequently, but if you kept the hair off of your face, then you could keep your face basically manageable. A beard was expensive to maintain, especially, in the early days of America. You couldn't just, if you had a beard and it wasn't a scraggle, just like a bush on your face, that usually meant you had money.
Yeah, it was a show of wealth. There's a movie that came out called A Million Ways to Die in the West, which although a comedy, there's a song in the middle of the damn thing about mustaches, about how a mustache and a well-kept mustache, and how the one character in the movie couldn't even afford to keep a mustache because you have, the amount of financial layout and work it requires to keep his shit. It says here that cavemen actually did shave some of their hair using flint sharpened razors as early as 30,000 BC.
I want to know who reported that.
Yeah, I want to know. I have a problem with some of that. It's like, were you all there? Did y'all find like somebody's fucking Barbasol can with fucking hieroglyphics on it? Like, that's a little... Things like that always bother me. Like, how did the human race start doing X, Y, Z? I always get back to that. Like, who was the first person to pick up a banana and say, this is a banana? And everybody else just went, yep, that's a fucking banana. I don't understand. Like, knowing what I know about things like hashtags and nicknames catching on, as we saw with, say, the 17%er thing, that's something, well, who was the first person to ever say that? Well, you could trace that to somebody and say, okay, and it caught on from there. But someone sometime had to pick this up and go, this is a lighter. Right. And everybody else went, okay, that's a lighter. And you had to do this for every fucking object. You had to do this for every object.
True, but when it's something that you've invented or created, obviously you get to name it, which is great.
Exactly, but I'm talking about things like, I don't know, like the words for actions, for example. Like, sure. Why does the word run? How did the word run become what it, mean what it was? Same thing with how did we actually get to shaving? Who was the first caveman who showed up to the hunt without facial hair? And everybody was like, oh, what's that? I've never seen that, before. And then they started doing
guys,
it.
Bob's fancy now.
He's fancy now. Fucking, he's one of them frozen cavemen.
He had to have been made fun of by his buddies. Yeah, they'd have been like, oh, really? Too good for the beard, huh?
Well, I have to assume that things like alopecia and vitiligo and things that do cause hair loss here and there did exist. And I'm sure hairlessness to some regard at the beginning meant you were sick.
Probably so. But just like anything else that's an aberration, it becomes a fetish. It becomes something that people, because it's different, it's exotic. And so it becomes something that instead of being frowned upon or oh, don't go near Bob, he's sick, It's whoa, hey, what is this? This is new, huh? We like new things. We're freaking. We got the attention span of goldfish these days. I mean, I can't imagine it was a whole lot better back then, especially being, early on when, things like fire were amazing.
Yeah, fire was amazing, and I mean, back then the beard probably just had some natural. It's got a natural purpose. We are mammals.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Hair does provide camouflage. It provides weather protection. It provides all this shit. But
Protects your sinuses.
and it's got a lot to do with where you live as well, I would assume.
Well, sure.
Because
Sure.
warm,
Well, I mean, Asian men generally don't have a whole lot of facial hair. Hispanic men. What's weird about Hispanic men, I've noticed, is it's usually like they hit one of the two spectrums. Either they've got almost nothing, or they've got a full-on bush. There's not a whole lot of in between.
See, yeah, in Asia, it became a mark of wisdom because it took so long for those guys to even get the little bit of Fu Manchu, and
Right.
they have notoriously straight facial hair as opposed to us, where our stuff is more curly, and then even mine different from yours because mine is straighter than yours, definitely,
It is.
and it's straighter than some people's. I don't know if that's just due to length or me brushing it fucking unrelentingly.
It could be both. Now, when your beard is short, when it's only a few inches long, what is it? Is it curly?
It
or is it
straights,
still
but it
straight?
curls at the end. Like it curled at the end, and then as it started getting longer, it straightened out, and the curl kind of just came out of it after a long enough period of time.
You oughta do the old school tight perm
I used
on the beard.
to want to do the real loose, bouncy. You know what I'm talking about, like the
Yeah,
Hasidic sideburn,
sure.
but I wanted
Absolutely.
them hanging off my face. I don't like the way certain people are treating their beards right now. And if we're going to be honest, maybe I can get your take on some things. Blaze Your Dead Homie is currently rocking. I can tell by your fucking face you're having the same reaction I did. First of all,
It's painful.
he colored it. And it's that really bright red, unnatural color. So you know he chemical shocked the shit out of his beard. And now
Yeah.
every night he's wrapping it in about a zillion elastics and taking it to the stage. Would
Yeah.
you suggest that?
Oh yeah, of course I would. No,
I
not
can't,
not
it's
at all.
going to
Not
break
ever.
off. I'm convinced it's just going to break off, and he's going to have a couple
Well,
of pieces of beard in his hand.
here's the thing, and I would bet you money. And I'd bet you a very hefty sum of money that every night when he takes those bands out, he loses probably 20 hairs off of his beard, breaking or pulling due to the elastics. The fact that he has chemically altered the color of his beard weakened his beard structure in the first place. His hair has got to be just fried at this point.
And
Like
I know about that from when I did. There's pictures of me with my blonde bullshit fucking beard. And I know all about that. That stuff dies with the quickness after you throw some color in it.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on what he's using, though, too. I mean, there are more natural, less harmful, less damaging dyes that, I mean, they're designed for your scalp hair, though. They're not, other than the weird stuff that you see around Christmas time with the beard glitters and stuff, I've not seen a whole lot in the way of color for your beard. So unless it's just one of those spray-on topical colors that washes out, he's probably done some pretty heavy damage to his beard. I hope for his sake that he's using something. I've given those guys a little bit of stuff the couple of times I've seen him, so hopefully he got passed on a little BeardLove and maybe he's using it, and that's
Yeah,
gonna
at the very least, trying to keep fucking track of it, and trying to keep it at least nourished so it doesn't die before the end of the tour.
Right.
So
Well, yeah, because they're gonna be here They're gonna be here on Thursday, and I may be going to that show. So.
it's a good show, man. I'll be. It was a pretty good show. I was confused. I wasn't considering we got a weekday. I was like, Jesus, on a Wednesday, but we had a pretty good time. Pretty good show. I think it helped us having Jaron Benton join the bill with us.
Probably.
So you've been a beard hair guy since you were a teenager. When
Yeah.
did you decide? I know at some point along the line you got married. I know at some point along the line you gathered yourself a family. And at what point did you decide I'm using these beard products? Why am I not making them?
Well, it really, I mean, to we're fairly frugal people. We've, you know, some of that's my fault in the way that I worked throughout the years. I would always try to find sort of that easy skate by job, you know, and you'd get paid very little because it was a skate by job. But as we progressed and things got better for us financially, that was kind of when it was like, okay, well, maybe we could start using some beard stuff. You know, I actually started growing a full beard because there was a guy that worked for me at my last job that he had a full beard, and it was not quite as long as yours, but it was disgusting. The dude never took care of it. He didn't. He told me one time he liked the bum look, which I don't know. He must not have been interested in the opposite sex because I don't see. I don't know. That's a tough look to pull off and have a girlfriend. But I actually started growing a beard because I wanted to show him up. I wanted to. It was a competition thing. It was like, dude, I could grow a way better beard than that. And he's like, no, man, my beard's tough. I've been growing this thing. I haven't shaved for 2 years. I'm like, all right. So I started growing a full beard. Up until that time, it was just the chin strap, and then like the 3 lines that connected.
Yeah. And
that was it. I didn't have the mustache. I didn't do the full beard. I kept the line along the jaw. So I mean, it was very minimal. And I always liked having longer facial hair. And anytime my goatee would get longer than a couple inches, Stephanie would freak out and make me cut it off because it would do this, you know, like one side would stick way out from my face and the other side would like tuck in towards my chest, and it was like it was talking to you, and it was never saying anything good. And so I started growing it out, and once it grew out, I realized I needed something. So I started looking into beard stuff on Facebook, and then, of course, it makes suggestions because they know everything about your life. And it started suggesting these different products to me, and I saw one that was like a kit, and it had a mustache wax and a beard balm and a beard oil and a wash. And I sent it to Stephanie, and I was like, this would make a really good present. And lo and behold, she got it for me, which was awesome. Really liked it, was using it, kept my beard from being all crazy, and so I was able to keep my beard longer. I was happy about, and it wasn't going nuts, which she was happy about. Came time that I was out of the wash and the oil ran out on me. I was like, babe, I need more. And really it came down to it because of a price thing. She was like, okay, I don't think you realize how expensive that thing was. Now, this was one of the pricier ones. It was more expensive than what we put out as far as price range is concerned. But so I was like, well, I need something because if I stop using it, my beard's going to go nuts. And she said, I bet I could make that. And I said, come on. This is a high quality, you know, not to take anything away from my wife. She's brilliant. But I had it in my head that, like, you can't just make that. You can't just make that. How are you going to do that? And she had a background with GNC. She understood how essential oils worked, and she knew like vitamins and what they did for your skin and your hair and you know, all these things. So she had a pretty good understanding of how all that stuff worked in the first place. And she said, let me just try. So she started putting some stuff together, and she only tried maybe 2 or 3 different things before it was like, okay, this is great. This is really good. Let's just keep making me this. And then people started asking me about my beard because it was getting longer and it was staying nicer, and you know, it adds a nice little shine to it when you got the beard oil in, and you know, people notice that stuff. A regular beard walking down the street, yeah, you'll notice the guy's got a beard, but you might not really pay attention to it. But you know, you're wearing some BeardLove and the sun hits your beard and it's like shing.
And the way it makes mine move makes it flap in the wind. So
right?
Before the actual beard chemicals, or I say chemicals, beard oils and balms, let me correct my fucking self with my ignorant, uneducated ass. You didn't use anything else?
No, I mean,
Like you didn't. My thing was I was always with women during the period of time when I was learning about my beardness. Got out in 2006, stopped shaving. I tried coconut oil, like straight from the jar. I had a coconut, a jar of it in my bathroom. I tried leave-in VO5 fucking oil treatments and leave-in conditioner and spray-in detangler and Pert Plus and the Australian shampoo. And my favorite normal quote-unquote product for my beard was mane and tail.
I actually had tried mane and tail at one point in time because I had some of it because I'd gone through this phase where I thought I was going to grow my hair out, and that was not.
You're gonna be a rock star. You were gonna have your own metal band. I can picture you with like long hair, no shirt on, with a fucking guitar, standing in front of a dragon.
Yeah, with a half-naked woman clinging to my leg.
Kind of dressed like Mad Max, but not really, because she's also not really wearing clothes. You know what I mean? But what clothes she is wearing are total Mad Max.
Yeah. No, there's a picture of me on Facebook, and I'm not going to point to a specific time frame, but if you look through my pictures, there's one of me on there with longer hair, and it's down to about here, and it's like flipped out along the edge, and I look... Have you ever seen the show Sister Wives?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the husband in that show has got that kind of thin, long hair.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's like the old man in the movie Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Right.
So that wasn't a good look. So I still had some of that shampoo left. So yes, I did try that on my beard at one point in time. I didn't like it
so much. If you don't know, if the viewers, listeners out there don't know about mane and tail is a horse shampoo, but that you can just purchase at fucking Walmart, and as long as you don't, some people I'm sure don't react well to it because it is quite heavy.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But it did definitely tame my shit for a long time, and it comes in big like gallon-sized bottles, so you almost never run out of it once you do start using it. But like I said, I used everything, and then you hit me up because you became a fan of the show. We've spoken about this before.
Yep.
And you introduced me. You introduced me to this wonderfully wonderful stuff right here. And since me and you got to talking, since I started using the BeardLove product, and since I started following your sage-like beard advice, things over here in Beardland on Chuck's side have gotten much thicker, much longer, much more manageable. I'm not even in top form right now. I feel like I'm getting beat in the beard category by you right now.
Nah, the beard's tough, bro. It's tough.
It's wintertime beard. It's survival beard. That's what happens.
That's right.
Summertime, it's sleek. I try to keep it straight. Wintertime, it's fucking survival beard. We're out here, naked and afraid. I'll never be naked with this beard. I can just wrap it around myself like a towel.
Well, that's why I like the balm. That's one of the reasons we call it Beard Guard balm, is because when you put the balm in, especially when you get these, heavy, cold winter winds and hit you in the face, you can feel the difference whether if you're wearing the balm or you're not wearing the balm. Like, it's noticeable. So yeah.
You guys offer essentially 3 different types of products in a variety of fragrances. You've got 17, I believe. You've got the BeardLove Beard Guard balm right here.
Yep.
It's real awesome. It's stable at room temperature. This is not a leaky substance. This is not a liquid substance. I can shake that motherfucker over this goddamn keyboard like this and ain't nothing gonna happen. So this here, for me, is a finishing paste almost.
Yeah.
I love using this in conjunction with my wonderfully wonderful custom fucking branded Chuck Reeves beard brush that's unavailable to the general public that you sent me and then I stuck a sticker on. Explain to people who may not know about beards versus other types of hair. What makes this particular brush different than, say, your mom's plastic brush that's fucking bright green or your dad's plastic bristle? It hurts when you touch your skin with it. What is the difference between a brush like this and your standard over-the-counter CVS $1.99, I just need to push my hair to one side brush?
Well, sure. Okay, so first off, when you're looking, what you're looking at there with your brush is a boar hair bristle. So it's a natural hair. It's stiff, obviously. Boars have really stiff hair, but you are so not in frame.
No, I am. You're seeing a different version of me because I use two different cameras. My camera that looks at you is different than the one that's filming the show. So, like, you can see it now because I'm inside of your camera. But if I lift it up and push it forward, I can get it right up in this camera's face.
I see. I see. This is I'm feeling a little like Inception going on here or something.
Hey, that's what happens here at the Beard Inception, Beardception. We call that shit.
Beardception.
So
okay, so you got a boar hair bristle brush.
So basically, you're using hair.
You're using hair to brush your hair. Yes. So it's not damaging. It doesn't build up static. It won't tear your hair. When you start using things like plastic, plastic has sharp edges. It's not a perfect process. It's not a natural substance, so it builds up static. Static can cause split ends. It can cause damage to your beard. Also, you'll snag the hell out of it. You know, unless you've got a perfectly straight beard, like your hairs are perfectly straight, you're going to snag every time you try to use a plastic comb or brush. It is. So you're wanting a bone or a wood or horn comb of some sort.
I'll pull out my new fancy one. This
your Joyo.
Okay, so actually, I'll pull them both out. Hold on, because we were talking about the brush and basics on the brush for the heads. You want something that's a natural fiber, preferably hair, boar's hair, something similar, and basically that allows.
And make sure you know, because a lot of times you go to the store, you'll see brushes that have black bristles that look like a boar hair bristle brush. You have to be sure that it actually says boar hair bristles on the label, because they will make a plastic one that feels very much the same and looks very much the same, but will damage.
And these are inexpensive. These standard,
they're very inexpensive.
They're very fucking expensive. They're not any more than your regular hair care product. You just may have to look a little harder and make sure you know what you're getting. This one here, like I said,
African-American hair products. If you go into the African-American hair products section, there's always a boar hair brush in Walmart, Walgreens, CVS. They all carry them. If you can't find one in any of those places for whatever reason, go to Amazon, search it. You can find one for next to nothing.
You sent me this one. This one's, I mean, it's a brush. It's a chunk of wood with bristles in it. So this is not broken, no chips in it. This thing I think is going to last for quite a long time. And given that it's all natural, when it gets dirty, which it does, I mean, all these things will get dirty. You can literally grab yourself a couple pumps of this, bring it on over to the sink, and wash your brush the way you would wash your hair. And I definitely recommend that people out there do that. I don't know where you got this one exactly. I was looking at some at Amazon, and
that was an Amazon purchase.
Yeah, Amazon's got a couple that are less than $2.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's inexpensive, and it makes sure that your stuff stays safe. I have at this point 2 different combs. I've got the gray bag comb, which I love, and that will never ever it'll never go in the trash. I'll put it that way. And then I got this comb that came in this fancy red Asian style bag, which I didn't understand.
I'm digging that bag though.
Yeah, so am I. It's all silky and shit. I don't think it's going to be as easy to clean as this bag. That's my only beef. This is still a dope bag. This bag that the first one came in is like a goat skin. Like a rough goat skin almost. It's very, very nice. And I've been able to wash it and keep it clean. So this is the first one. This is the one you sent me at the very beginning. As you can see, I used this thing for almost 2 years, I would say.
Yep.
And it never really got damaged too much. You can't, oh yeah, you can. Along the top there, the heads can see it. You can't. Maybe you can see it now. But along the top there, there's a couple little hairline cracks. I was doing the dumb shit occasionally, and I would slip it into the bag and then put the bag in my back pocket. You are not Arthur Fonzarelli. You are not a fucking greaser in the 50s. This is not a 99-cent unbreakable, bendable piece of shit comb. It isn't.
Nope.
What it is is a highly stylized and engineered horn and or bone type instrument.
I believe that one was a bison horn.
This is the new one. Yeah, the new one, it's bison horn. Literally, I bought the same exact comb as a replacement. The only difference is this one's a tad bit bigger.
Yeah, I see.
All right, and I don't even know what that hole was for. That one had like a hole drilled in it. I think
aerodynamics is for speed.
No, I think it's for barbers. A barber had told me that, so they could like chain it to the desk and shit. Yeah, but this one didn't have either one of those. But even this, being a fine-tuned fucking facial hair instrument, was very inexpensive on Amazon. And I ended up getting this one. Bad. Yeah, for less than $20. They are handmade, so they take a little while to come in. I think that's what it is. I think they're made to order.
They might be, but also they come from overseas as well.
Yeah.
So there's the having to go through customs and that whole thing, because it is an Asian company, Joyo.
Is it? Okay. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all, and I had to get real specific on Amazon. Because you can end up in the fake bone section.
Oh, like,
You can end up in the bootleg comb section very quickly on Amazon. Sure. So I have to recommend this company, Joyo. You turned me on to them. I love these combs. The thing about both these is that if you use the right type of instrument with the right type of beard lubrication, the lubrication is not only going to assist your beard, but it is also going to assist your instruments, given that the boar's hair in the brush will absorb any excess, which prevents you from having an oily look or from having too much product in your beard. The comb, same fucking deal. This horn region, this black stuff here, is the same type of proteins. And you know this. This is mostly for the listeners. But the proteins here will absorb those nutrients, those oils, those naturally occurring things. So even if you don't have your oil on you, one of these might just take some extra from the comb and just give you a little fresh up. Just give you a little fresh up, and then it can slide right back in the bag.
For sure.
You didn't have to go through your whole process.
It's like a baseball glove, or well, baseball glove is probably the best example I can think of right now, but it's that, over time being used and getting oiled and being used and getting oiled, and it gets this nice patina to it, and it softens up, and it gets a nice deep warm color to it, and all that. It's one of those cool kind of things, like having a beard becomes I mean, there's certain ritual to it, but it also becomes very I don't even really know the right word. It's very eclectic, and you kind of you get these cool little things, and you get these combs.
It's a hobby on top of a fashion statement, on top of a social statement. Because having a beard of a larger variety, I mean, I know nowadays that beards have taken on a new life with hipsters and young professionals and things of that nature as a fad. But the idea of having a beard past a certain length has always instilled in other people thoughts of wizardry or advanced wisdom or Duck Dynasty. What do you think, personally, some of the best and worst examples of beards in the media are that maybe helped with beards? I think something like Duck Dynasty overall helped with beard culture, but
I agree.
At the same time, it gets us all labeled as one thing if you have a long beard. Before that, it was ZZ Top. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a marked difference in what people called me depending on what they were familiar with. So what do you think are some good examples of what beards do represent in the media as opposed to...
Wow, good example. Well, I mean, here's the thing, like, if you look at movie culture, okay, the guys with the beards, if you're talking realistic type films, if you're talking, whether that be action, drama, well, drama may not be a good example, but action or or suspense or thriller or any of those kinds of things. The bearded people generally are villains.
Okay.
They're the bad guys. Okay. But if you look at sci-fi, where you get into like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and some of these other new genres that have come out now, the bearded ones are actually the good guys. So I think a lot of it has to do with sort of perception of the audience. I think beards have almost become like really cool in the sort of fandom geek world, if you will, but you still have, there's this idea in America that the hero guy, the macho man, is actually a clean shaven guy, which is
because you can't have a strong jaw with a beard. Like, you can't have an angular straw jaw. You can't have that hero's look. I think the greatest halfway example of a bearded person as a villain and hero is Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Because you have a man like Gaston, who's a clean-shaven individual, well off, but then you have the Beast character, who could just be broken down. Are you there? Oh, there you go. Okay, you froze up for a second. But that could be broken down to just a bearded character. Disney loves to make their villains have beards, for the most part. Jafar, one of the most infamous Middle Eastern beards of all time.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. But then again, you had the dwarves as well.
The genie had a little chin hairs going on too, didn't he?
Yeah, it's more of I think that's more of a Middle Eastern thing. That is one thing that people do tend to forget about beards occasionally, is that some people keep their beards for not just cultural or fashion statements, but also religious reasons. Certain sects of the Islamic faith, and as well as like the Sikh from India. And
the Jewish community too.
Some parts of the Jewish community, the more devout you get, the more facial hair there seems to be at an earlier age. Yes, indeed. I know most rabbis are running around this motherfucker with beards. I know Abraham Lincoln grew his beard when he received a letter from a little girl stating that she thought he was more handsome and looked more trustworthy with a beard. So we see as times have changed, because now bearded individuals sometimes are looked on as you're hiding something, which was actually something that Homer Simpson pulled on Ned Flanders and made him shave his mustache by convincing poor Ned that people were saying that he had secrets because he was hiding something behind his mustache.
Right. Well, and you talk about Abraham Lincoln, and I keep thinking to myself, like, when was the last time we had a bearded president? I think Cleveland had a beard, didn't he? Grover Cleveland.
Ooh, you know what? I don't know. I have to assume that they all did at some point during their presidency. I know Obama went while he was on vacation. I remember seeing a picture of that.
I don't count vacation beard as beard. I mean, God bless you for growing it at any point in time, but to be honest, it's not like he had to shave before he went back to work. Right.
Like, he really didn't, like, you know what I mean? It's not that sort of a job. It's I feel you on that one.
For the president, but I got to thinking, have you seen, and regardless of politics, have you seen Ted Cruz recently?
Yo, you're killing me, because it seems like things always work out this way when I have these shows and I talk to intelligent people. That's on the Google search page that's right behind the broadcasting program here. Apparently, Ted Cruz, a.k.a. the son of the fucking Zodiac Killer, he grew a beard. And it's causing quite a stir, because I know Trump said something about it, and I know that people are saying that he's trying to connect to people in the Middle East, which I can't think that that's the reason he grew that beard. But
maybe in the Midwest,
it's definitely better than Eminem's beard. I wouldn't give it Zac Efron beard, as we were talking about last time. But I will definitely say it's better than M's beard, and it's not a bad beard. And as a politician, especially one in the limelight like he is, there are bearded politicians out there. You just don't but there are people like Vermin Supreme. Do you know who that is?
No.
We have a gentleman here who's a perennial presidential candidate, independent from Vermont, named Vermin Supreme. I'll make sure to put a picture of him up on the screen right now. Vermin wears a boot on his head, and has a long ass gray beard.
Wait.
And yeah, I know you know who he is. After I say he wears a boot on his fucking head, he wears a rubber boot on his fucking head and runs for president dressed like a wizard.
Yep.
So,
and you've got these crazy claims.
But there are some bearded politicians. But for somebody like him in the limelight to be doing this, I also think that that's just fucking, hey, look over here. That's a red herring. Them making a big deal about it. The beard's the last thing somebody like that should be getting spoke about. You know what I mean?
True.
There's so
however,
much other shit going on.
But you make a good point, and I think the reason that it catches the attention of people is because it is so uncommon to find on a politician that is in the limelight. It's not something you see very often, and so when somebody like Ted Cruz, who's actually gets a lot of camera time, starts growing a beard, which at first it did not look like it was going to work out. It didn't. Like if you look at the early pictures of him, like 5 days, 7 days into his beard growth, it was like, nah, man, beards aren't for everybody, bro.
You're gonna have to take care of that shit. You're gonna have to do something about that.
But I'll tell you what, honestly, if looking at the man pre-beard, looking at the man post-beard, I like post-beard Ted Cruz better. I think it does make him look more relatable to, if you're talking about like middle of America. I think the whole Middle East thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but middle of America does.
Really?
Midwest for sure.
Well, he's from what? Arizona, New Mexico. He's from one of those southwestern states. That's, yeah. I mean, and those people, Denver, Colorado, like you said, middle of the country, a lot of beards. I saw a lot of beards in Indiana. I think we both fucking did. Obviously, when I go south, there's more beards, but there are a lot of beards here in the north for various reasons. Different types of beards, obviously. You got your mostly hipster beards in certain places. But, you know, with him growing this, I just feel like they're latching onto the wrong thing. Like what it shows to me is you got somebody like Ted Cruz who is he's a politician. He's notoriously a politician, which means everything down to the socks is decided upon by committee. The types of dogs he has are the highest polling types of dogs. You know what I mean? He's got this many fucking kids, and this is what all his stances are based on polling numbers. So
he wants to be president. He wants to look tough. I think that's what it is right now.
And that doesn't help with Donald Trump calling him a pussy all the time. But with him growing a beard, it shows a little bit of I don't give a fuck. And I think that at this point is what they're learning we want to see in our politicians. That level of I don't give a fuck is what got Donald Trump to where he is, in my opinion, is that people he's just going to do whatever the fuck he wants and be unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
Having a beard just pop up on a politician's face, especially during the lead up to a presidential run, makes me think that either it was decided upon that we need to show a little I don't give a fuck and this is the only real way to do it with you, Ted Programmable Cruz.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? We'll see if he keeps it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is, like you say, he's a politician. He is definitely one of those ones that makes all of his moves based around what he thinks is going to poll well or what does poll well. And that is what it is. I mean, that's politicians for you. The one thing that you can say about Trump, love him or hate him, he's not a politician.
No. We're learning that.
And love the fact that he's not a politician.
He didn't even pass civics from what it looks like, let alone being a politician. He don't understand certain fucking political words, in my opinion. I'd love to see him grow a beard. I think that'd be hysterical. I don't think he's capable for whatever fucking reason. I don't even. Seen that
picture that they've photoshopped him bald with a beard?
Oh, I've seen that picture. Yep. I believe he's pretty bald underneath that toupee. That's what I think the big fucking secret everybody wants to be. If he just said fuck it and took that off, people would let him slide on the rest of the shit.
Probably. But like the hairdo, he's even back when he obviously had a full head of hair, he still wore his hair funny.
Yeah, he's always had a weird hairdo. But back to beards. So we got Ted Cruz, and he's a pretty big profile beard at the moment. Who are some of your favorite famous beards? Whether they be fictional, whether they be historical figures. Because I got my own list, but I'm interested in, like, who do you look at and go, man, if I could grow that, maybe I'd trade kind of shit. Because there's a couple of guys. I guess I can start if you're familiar with the Kill Bill franchise.
I never watched them, honestly.
There's a trainer, a kung fu trainer, who's got the whole Fu Manchu, but it's about down to his belly button. And the whole movie, he does this thing where he grabs it and he goes, and it flips all out. I'll make sure to put a picture of that dude up on the screen for the fucking heads. But like for you, did you grow up watching Flash Gordon? Are you a Ming the Merciless guy? I used to be a Ming the Merciless guy when it came to the facial hair and the bald head.
No, I honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't even get those references.
You don't understand? Like, okay, all right. How about if I say
Ming the Merciless is lost on me.
Ming the Merciless was the evildoer from a movie called Flash Gordon, which is a science fiction movie in the 80s. He was a semi-Asian looking bald man with a long black. I'm a Fu Manchu fan. If I could grow a Fu Manchu, that's what I would grow. But
dude, you can grow a Fu Manchu.
Nah,
look at
because my mustache does this, and gets in my mouth, and I just can't deal with it.
You don't have the patience, which is why you'll never have a Fu Manchu.
I don't have the ability not to enjoy a meal. After a minute, this mustache is going to get to a point where I won't be able to eat anymore effectively, and if it's affecting that, it's like, if I can bite it off, it means my ancestors would have. That's what I figure. So if it like, you know, we were talking about like the first shaving. I bet that was the first hair trimming at all. Was shit. It's in my mouth. Well, I'm gonna eat this food, and the hair's gonna come off with it because the hair's in my mouth too.
I'll bet you money the reason that guys started shaving in the first place was because women started complaining they didn't like the way it felt when they got kissed. Kissing rose to popularity, and women were like, ew.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that one because I was going to say kissing I don't think was always part of the mating process.
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
At one point, it was just like, come here, blunk. I'm a mate with you. Nowadays.
Yeah, you're mine now.
Nowadays, that shit don't slide. So you really don't know any of those references that I hit you with?
I don't get Ming the Merciless. I don't. I'm sorry. I know of Flash Gordon, but that was not my thing. Honestly, when it comes to beards in movies, the one that I've always wanted to try and pull off was the Leonidas 300 beard.
Oh, just that. Really, it almost looks like fucking astroturfing.
But yeah, it's like he's got it
so lined up that
down.
I try to pull that off. It's a hard look.
I think my beard would do it, but I don't have enough faith in myself to try and cut my beard that way. I don't think I can do it.
You just want to kick people in the chest and yell, "This is Sparta" and shit. That's all you want to
do. This is BeardLove.
Trust me, I want to do that shit sometimes too. All right, so this is in no way. I want to make sure that if you're out there, you're listening, you're watching, you don't have a beard. We are not prosecuting you for not having beard. There are plenty of legitimate societal reasons and safety reasons, depending on your employment, as to not have a beard. So if you're a mechanic and you working around rotating shit, or you work in a place where you have to wear if we get gas attacked, we're fucked for the most part. All I can do is pull this up over my face and pray, because I'm not going to get a seal on a gas mask, which was a huge thing when I was in the military with beards. But there are reasons to not have a beard. What are some of the things that you found? Because I have problems with the length at this point. We've talked about this before. It gets under my girlfriend's head. It gets trapped. In the night, it does this, where it gets underneath my armpit. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it gets in there, and I'll give myself damn whiplash. I'm afraid that due to my length, I've kind of gotten myself to a place where I either just got to put it up with a fucking elastic band and pray, or try something else. Now, I've seen some beard gadgets lately, and I know you don't deal with the gadgets, so to speak, just the all-natural oils, washes, and balms available at mybeardlove.com right fucking now. All right, tell them Chuck sent you somehow, some way. Put that shit in the comments, in the info, on the PayPal, whatever.
I have something for your guests too before we get off of here.
Oh, we'll deal with more plugs at the end. I'm throwing plugs in as we go along, but we'll definitely deal with some more plugs at the fucking end. I've seen some beard contraptions, and I don't have examples to show you, but I'll make sure to put them up on the screen. So there is a ruler device that is a curved to the line of a jaw, and the idea is you put it against your face and then you shave it. It's like a beard stencil. How do you feel about that?
Seen that. I think for a person who wants just a specific beard look, then that fits it. I think that's fine. I don't like, because the way that they've got it set up is it's very curved. Mm-hmm. Like, you're looking at a rounded kind of thing.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about then.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. And again, not a problem with it. I think it's fine, but I think that you've got to be sure that that's how you want to wear your beard. It's going to make your cheeks look very round. And so if you've got a little extra weight on you like I do, it's going to accentuate that. So
it's going to give you unnecessarily chubby cheeks.
Angular line gives that sort of drawn in look to the cheeks. It really, really helps.
That's how I kind of keep mine, is more angular and straight lines, because I don't get much growth here. You know what I mean? Like in this little space. So it's easy for me to keep it angular and then I just have it cut down as it reaches the fucking mustache. And that thing, I tried using one once and I was like, this thing doesn't even really fit my face. It's definitely not one size fits all. It's not nearly as easy as they make it look in the damn commercial. How do you feel about beard covers?
Beard covers. So what, like a
something
nightcap type
this
of
is
situation?
something I just saw, which, I mean, I've always heard of beard nets for certain jobs and things, but these are specifically made for when you're sleeping. The person that makes them kind of pushes the idea that if you cover your beard at night, it'll keep more of that product in there. You won't have product get on anything else. And then for things like eating and keeping food out of your beard. For me, I just tuck my shit in my shirt. So I've got the eating thing covered. Because I'm not going beard first and some soup. I'm not doing it.
Man, it doesn't matter what I do. I always end up wearing some soup. But the idea of something like that, like a nightcap for your beard, I like the idea of it. I've actually been considering something like that myself, and I don't know if I would buy something necessarily. I think that I could probably come up with something myself that would work. But I do wear a beard net for my normal 9 to 5. Well, not 9 to 5, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. I work in a food production facility. I'm a supervisor, and I have to wear a hairnet and a beard net. Now, the beard nets are far too small for the beard that I possess, so I wear a hairnet over my face and over the top of my head.
There we go. See, you got to make it work.
Yeah. So done that it's been 4 years now that I've had to wear hairnet. So it does take a toll though after a time, because like down along the sides, the bottom of the beard, as it gets longer, with that beard net coming up around here, it causes these weird sort of curls.
Yeah, that's my concern, is because they don't look very big. So I'd have to like roll this fucker up and then put the beard cover on it. It's like, you don't want to do that either, because you're going to get unnecessary tangling. You're going to get splits. It's just not.
Well, yeah, you're going to get waves that you can't get rid of. You're going to get, which, I mean, if you want certain types of wave in your beard, you can do that. But
I do that with the brush and the balm.
Right.
I can make my fucking self seasick with the amount of waves I can put in my beard. I can look luxurious.
But to me, the reason that I would be interested in putting something on my beard overnight is not to keep the product in. It would not be for that purpose. It would be because I didn't like morning beard. Okay. And if I got to scrunch it all up to get it in the bag,
then I'm going to get morning beard anyway. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. It's like, it's not going to prevent something that I'm going to end up having to give myself to get my beard in that bag.
Now, I'm not a hater. I will say this. I think it's great that there are people out there that are coming up with these ideas. I think that it's necessary, especially with the popularity of beards, the way that they're going. And maybe it will help to get some more people involved in the beard culture that maybe were straying away from it because they didn't, I don't know how to trim my own beard line. Well, if you've got that template thing that you can put up on your face and it works for you, okay, now you can do that and you don't have to worry about it. You know, if you're concerned about getting beard oil on your sheets and you've got that cover you can wear at night, okay, maybe that takes care of that argument. So I love that people are coming up with these ideas. I wouldn't necessarily use all of them myself, but I think if it's something that works for you, I mean, yeah, absolutely, more power to you. So don't misunderstand. I'm not hating on any of these things. There's just a lot of it I probably would never use.
Yeah, that's what I mean, it took me long enough to get on the beard oil and wash train, as I said.
You had to be approached
by somebody with a beard who I had to be approached by somebody with a beard that I felt was at least up to par with my own. Because I had people tell me, and I was like, come on, fam, you're going to tell. I'd looked at people and gone, you are going to tell me how to take care of a beard. And that's exactly how I would take it, where I was like, you're telling me to use something you're using? Why? So I can lose the hair in my face? Like, because that's what it looks like is happening to you. But when you approached me, I was like, this is somebody whose beard is legitimate, and it's at least up to the level of a peer to my beard, for sure. And if you're sketchy about growing a beard and it's because you don't think you know how to take care of it, there are videos on YouTube. There will be videos specifically about my beard on this channel soon as little extra things. I dropped you saw it, the barbershop video, and the response to that actually wasn't terrible. So, the next time I do my lineup, which may be soon, and my head shave, since I've got the longest, I've got the most hair I've had since I was in the Navy. Right now,
nice.
I'm in a hibernation phase. But once I decide to shave all that shit and line it up, I will be posting those videos in tutorial format on
well, and
YouTube.
I do advice videos on the Facebook page. I'm actually getting ready. I'm gonna actually start doing some YouTube videos here soon. I think I'm probably gonna transition into YouTube as opposed to doing it on the Facebook page. But I do State of the Beard address. I try to do it every Sunday. I haven't done it in a while, but I probably will do one this evening. It's nice to do. I like to have something to talk about, though, and so coming up with things sometimes isn't always the easiest.
Yeah, there's not much beard news. I think we got lucky with the beard news last time we tried, because literally, if you Google beard news at the moment, it's all Ted Cruz all the time. 24/7 Fox News coverage of his beard. Has Ted Cruz become a Muslim? Is he trying to appeal to the Viking demographic? Let's see.
View Ted Cruz's beard's Twitter page at Real Beard of Ted Cruz.
Like, and the way they're describing it, Ted Cruz grows a beard and instantly becomes more reasonable and likable. Like, what? I don't understand how a beard... I mean, I'd like to think that it was that easy. You know what I'm saying?
No, man, you grow the beard and, like, you grow things like common sense, and, it just comes right along with the beard.
Because there are places, I mean, there are places that don't go... They're not receptive to beards, and... There's always been an infamous story. I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. And as a bearded individual, that's kind of against the grain, because the Yankees for a long time, and it was instituted by George Steinbrenner when he bought the team the first time, have a zero tolerance facial hair policy. Several times during the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, the Yankees acquired high-profile players from other teams that had significant facial hair, and then their shave when they joined the Yankees became even like an event, like a thing. Like, you're not gonna play for, and when guys got traded, they would have to be explained, like, we have a zero tolerance beard and mustache policy. What do you think could trigger something like that in professional sports? Because that is, and they're the only team in any of the sport leagues anywhere that has this kind of a policy. It's just something that was left over from the days of Steinbrenner at this point. But
I mean, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, I guess maybe, here's the thing, baseball in particular, people tend to be pretty superstitious, baseball players and baseball organizations and baseball fans. So I can see that becoming something of a superstition. If no Yankee has facial hair and they have a great season, then everybody's going to blame it on the fact that there's no facial hair.
Yeah, but this has been a club-wide regulation for a long time. And the big one I remember, Johnny Damon from the Boston Red Sox, big bearded individual, didn't get traded. He became a free agent, got picked up by the Yankees, and he had to agree to shave. And it was a huge thing because it even to that point for Johnny Damon at least signified his traitorous turncoat status that he would go from the Red Sox to the Yankees as a free agent.
Well, yeah, I mean that's first and foremost. You don't want to do that, but then to shave, because everybody apparently it's common knowledge in baseball that nobody has facial hair at the Yankees. So if that's the case, then he's sort of flipping off. He's not just flipping off the Boston Red Sox by going to the Yankees, but he's further flipping them off by going, I didn't want to be a part of your organization so much that I got rid of my facial hair.
This is where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Being that I'm a lifelong Yankees fan.
Yeah.
Okay. There have been things in history that have happened, and I've been like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Billy, what the fuck's his name? Hold on. I got to look this up. I'm kind of going off the cuff with this part. I thought about it at the last minute. He's an actor from when Harry Met Sally.
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal, lifelong Yankees fan, was signed to a one-day spring training contract. And he got a professional at-bat as a New York Yankee.
Really?
Okay. Now, I'm a lifelong Yankees fan. My father was a Yankees fan. I hope to raise a couple of little Yankees fans.
Don't you dare.
This comes up occasionally.
Okay. I see where this is going.
What would it take to get me to shave my beard? And I got to be honest, maybe not one day, but maybe one season, and I was going to play and be a New York Yankee. I might shave this motherfucker. Is there anything that if somebody came to you and said, short of, enough money where you and the family are taken care of for 1,000 years kind of shit, is there anything tangible in this world that someone could say, beard comes off right now and you get this? I mean, short of...
Well, I guess the question is, does the beard have to stay off forever?
No, because and that's the other thing is I'd grow my shit back. Because that's part of it.
Back, I don't think it would take that much. I'm fairly adventurous when it comes to my facial hair. I've never been scared to start from scratch. Obviously, I did that already this year. Of course, the reason for doing that was to try and help people who hadn't grown facial hair before, or maybe people who were in different stages of beard growth.
See the process and see hashtag it gets better. Hashtag it gets better.
Right? But it as far as like somebody just coming to me and saying, hey man, I want you to shave the beard off, I don't know. I mean, it would have to be something significant. It would have to be for a good reason. I could see doing it for a charity of some sort if that was brought up. I could see doing it for if say I don't know, say there was a situation where a buddy was getting married, he wanted me to be his best man or something, and that was, no beards in the family, or I don't know
if I'd do it for like a buddy. Yeah, I can't see that being a circumstance, but I mean, if for me at this point, I mean, it's flexed a little bit. So, like if the right movie came along and they were like, we need you for 3 months, and maybe not, because that's the thing, I don't think I'd get cast and then told to shave. Like, if I'm being cast at this point, it's because they don't have a frame of reference. I could have a foot under here. Nobody knows. I could be a mutant, and nobody fucking... There's no frame of reference for any of that. So, maybe they'd make me shorten it. But I think the Yankees thing is one of those things where I'd be like, oh, I get to be a New York Yankee? Like, I get to fucking forever. I can always say I was a New York Yankee. For real? Yeah, I'd probably shave my shit. I've got to be honest.
I mean, I guess I look at you and, like, from the day that I met you, you've had this big, long, glorious red beard.
From the day most, 3 of the kids met me. My son saw me without, my son has seen my chin because he's old enough, but he's 16. Like, we're talking about, We're talking about over a decade of facial fuzz right here on the fucking Beast Host face for sure. So
Right. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could envision it with you, but yeah, for me, it's not. I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. I'm actually getting ready to change up the beard style now. So
yeah, I know you had a. Did you figure out what you're doing? It looked like you're doing
yeah,
some combo thing with some sideburns.
it's called Verdi, which I had never heard of it, but it's named after a gentleman that actually made the style popular. But basically, it's the mustache with the curl, and then the down the sides to attach to the goatee, which is attached to the beard. But then it's got to have enough of the sides here cut down so that there's actually a visible line between the mustache.
You have to make a gap. Yep. And
It's-
I mean, yours grows that way. I don't think I could pull that off. Like I said, you have that upper mustache connection that I don't have on either side. So I think that was one of the styles. I mean, we all go through that when you start growing your facial hair of looking at different. Oh, should I remember a sitcom. A kid shaved the first time, and then immediately was like, "Oh, I'm gonna shave lightning bolts into my sideburns." Like, get the fuck out of here! No, you're not, because I can't even do that now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that certain beards won't do.
It was a dream of mine for years, actually, to grow sideburns in the shape of lightning bolts. Like, I'm not even kidding you.
I see these ultra lined up, design beards, and I'm like, it looks like a racetrack for fleas, fam. What do you got going on in your face? Like it looks like the landing pattern at Logan International Airport.
It's or like aliens landed on your face. I don't know.
With funny looking beards out there, man. There are some funny looking beards. There are some good beards, and then there are the people that use BeardLove. Tell the people if they are interested in growing any of the fantastic facial hair shapes that we've been speaking about during the program, where they can get the wonderful beards, washes, balms, oils, in a variety of fragrances, which we'll talk about here afterward.
Sure. MyBeardLove.com. MyBeardLove.com/BeastHost. Get that secret Beast Host page. 10% off for all Chuck Reeves fans.
But you got to tell them that I sent you in the PayPal note.
Yeah, in the PayPal note, hashtag Beard Speaks, or the Beard sent me, or Rasputin lives. You basically anything in reference to Chuck, we'll know. Get you that 10% off, and 17 different fragrances at this point, I think.
17. What's the most? What are the two newest?
Two newest. Wow. What is the? Well, I've got one that's not even out yet. That'll come out in spring.
I was going to say the ones that are out, because I have a couple of ones that aren't out yet that I'm loving.
Yeah, I know. Actually, the newest one is Valor, which is not up on the website and available for sale yet, but that was what I was going to say for your listeners, your viewers. I don't know exactly when this is going to air. I guess you and I can...
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's quick. Tomorrow.
Okay, so after this comes out, so if it's tomorrow, we'll say all this week, anybody that buys a full set, we'll say $20 or more purchase on the website at mybeardlove.com/beasthost, will get you a free Valor oil.
Oh, shit. Look at that. Freebies going out
before anybody can buy it.
So if you make at least a $20 purchase over there at mybeardlove.com or mybeardlove.com/beasthost, and you purchase a set, $20 order, wash, oil, balm, you pick the fragrance, you're going to get a free, what is it, sampler size? Valor.
No, I'm going to go full size.
Oh, you're going to go full size?
Yep.
She's trying to break the bank. You're going to get an extra oil. That's like a $15 value.
It is.
Absolutely fucking free. So you go in there, you buy a wash, you get yourself an oil. Maybe you stay unfragranced. Maybe you stay fragrance free like I do with the wash. And then you get yourself something delicious like this Daddy's Home, which if I remember correctly is a lavender. It smells like vanilla. Sorry.
Lavender vanilla.
Lavender vanilla. And it smells like evenings chilling on the couch, falling asleep with a fucking beer in hand while wifey's making dinner. And then you're going to get that Valor, and that's cologne compatible, right?
Yes, that's cologne compatible. It's designed to be compatible with diesels, only the Brave, but other similar fragrances it would work with as well. Also, you can check us out, facebook.com/TheRealBeardLove, Instagram.com/TheRealBeardLove. Check out the Facebook. If you can't find us, just search #StateOfTheBeard. You will find a picture of my ugly mug.
And do not use extensions or spray-ons or clip-ins. Try to keep the glue out of your beard at all costs. All right?
To each their own, as long as you're using BeardLove.
That is the big that is of course the point. Jake, I appreciate you stopping by here once again on the Beard Speaks. It's been a while coming for you to actually have been over here. I know we did this over on your side a couple weeks ago, and we will have you back as things progress. We will be debuting the BeardLove Chuck Reeves signature fragrance called Chuck Juice at some point in the next 2 months. As soon as I stop dragging ass on certain aspects that have fallen on my lap that I need to make sure get taken care of, because I'm a fucking asshole sometimes. But shit, man, I appreciate it, dude. I've known you for a long time. It's weird doing these types of things with you for me sometimes, because it's like I feel like I'm interviewing you, and it's like, well, damn, we talked about this. I don't want him to think that I just want to rehash the same shit each and every time, but I think it's important that the heads out there who have not met you, have not seen you in person, have not heard from your beard, so to speak, in person. There's a lot more than one beard around here as part of the Beard Speaks Beast Host family. And I'm proud and humbled to call you not only a friend, but also a beard brother in arms in this battle against bare faces. I appreciate
this was an episode. Last couple episodes, man, you could call them not just the Beard Speaks, but the Beards Speak.
Yeah, it's been a beard-centric kind of thing the last few weeks. I think I'm even going to have a beard in here today after we're done here. My next potential interview, I'm pretty sure, is a bearded man. I'll make sure he leaves the motherfucking studio with some beard love, for sure. Fantastic. But, yo, heads, drop some flame emojis in that motherfucking chat for the homeboy, Jake Bassett. Huge thanks to Jake for coming by. Shit was certainly a long time coming. Having been a user of the BeardLove line of products for some time, I know how much they've strengthened and leveled up my own beard game. On top of that, Jake, Stephanie, and the entire BeardLove family have been staunch and steadfast supporters of my content and my goals. Make sure that if you got a beard, if you know somebody with a beard, if you trying to drop hints that somebody needs to grow a beard, visit mybeardlove.com/beasthostbeard. Drop a Beast Host related reference in the payment notes. You're going to get 10% off. And for this week only, you're going to get a free full-size unreleased scent with any order of $20 or more. That shit's for you, heads. I was going to end today with a discussion about the recently announced Big Stank and Little Poot Astronomicon appearances, as well as the full clip Shaggy 2 Dope after party in Worcester. Because, to be honest, both those fucking things are pretty damn amazing. They're both events of the fucking highest caliber. But then I remembered, I'm live on Thursday. So if you want to hear me discuss that topic and a whole bunch more with live YouTube chat interaction, audience Q&A, and more, hit up that Patreon, Duke. You got till Thursday morning to register. And if you're not doing that, you're stuck waiting for that Friday morning replay, and you just gonna watch some of the fun we have. Some ridiculous shit, however, did cross the beard desk before we went to press today. And it kind of made me like laugh cry. You know what I mean? Like laugh cry. Like that kind of chuckle you get when a tear like fucking like streams down your face. Like you're already crying and you kind of just chuckle because like shit was bad. Like so bad. And then all of a sudden shit gets hilariously worse. That's what this picture made me do. President Trump hosted a dinner the other night to honor the Clemson Football Tigers football team and their national championship win. Now, given Trump's personal staff and cooks have been furloughed due to what I'm going to call Wallgate, aka the government shutdown, What did old boy Donnie serve? Obviously with no chefs or cooks in the fucking White House. Could he have contacted one of his numerous restaurant hotels he owns in the area and they could have shipped in some gourmet dining food for these hard-working, college-aged young men? Hell fucking no. Mayor fucking McCheese here decided to get a fast food feast for all these potential professional athletes. All right? He got a whole fucking smorgasbord, as you can see there. He got Wendy's. He got Burger King. He got Domino's. Oh, and let's not forget McDonald's, which fucking Trump decided to call a great American food. How you gonna call that a food, first off? And then how you gonna call it a great food? And then how are you gonna take credit for that shit? This reminds me of a joke that I heard years ago, and I do not remember who told it. And if you remember, drop it in the comments. If somebody can find out, drop that shit in the comments. This is not my joke. But homeboy talked about going to Israel, and you show up in Israel, and they're like, welcome to Israel, the Holy Land. And all Americans can say is, yeah, I'm from America, home of the Whopper, what's up? That's not what we should be describing as great American food for a variety of reasons. Now, he claimed that he paid right out of his own pocket due to the federal shutdown for this fucking spread of about a fucking 1,000 number 4s, big ass size with Cokes. Then he presented that cold ass food, God knows how long that shit sat on those tables, to a group of befuddled CTE victims. Now I have issue with this. First, you're fucking stupid. This was so clearly a woe is me, look what I have to serve my guest bunch of bullshit. I don't know what I would do except for shit. Number two, just the amount of that terribly processed, drip-dried, freeze-dried food is enough to make me shit. I mean, I like fast food. Who doesn't? Get drunk, have some fucking Taco Bell. But Donald, apparently this dude's eating that garbo every single day. I can't even describe what McDonald's serves as like cuisine. All I can call it is quick food sustenance. It's enough to get you through, but it ain't gonna deliver anything you fucking need, especially in terms of high class taste. It's not disgusting. I mean, those fillet of fishes after about 40 minutes on that table had probably congealed into a fish jello type substance. But who am I to judge? Some people eat those shits by the half dozen. But it's really fucking ignorant. It's really fucking classless. And it's really fucking weak of him to do this. These guys get an invitation to visit the leader of the free world. And they get this. Here's some room temperature fucking burgers for you 300-pound linemen to go ahead and get your grub on, all right? Don't forget to throw the shit up later or your dietary coach is going to lose his fucking mind. Now, apparently, it wasn't bad enough that old fat-ass Bill Clinton was enough of a Mac attacker that they built a McDonald's literally less than one city block from the White House's front gate. But does Donald Trump have to surpass that by not only utilizing the McDonald's, but being their best customer? And remember, he did this to a group of American college kids, not foreign dignitaries. Kids so humbled by the experience, they didn't complain or say a word. 1,000 burgers, Trump said. 1,000. Factor in 2 for $5s, factor in fries, factor in drinks. I saw some salads. Maybe he got some extra sauces. Holy shit, Donnie. We're talking about like 7 fucking grand. Do you know how far 7 grand would go at a place, I don't know, like Olive Garden or Texas Roadhouse? Not necessarily high class, but definitely better than this Postmates, fucking Uber Eats, McDonald's delivery, mass-produced garbage. Come on, man. Pretty much any place delivers. I'm pretty sure you could have gotten some TGI Fridays. I mean, I guess the real winners in this situation were the few football players who decided to stay home. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me here tonight. Friday, brand new wide access show. Get down with that Patreon if you want to. There's audio dropping all the time on all the platforms. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sip my tea. And I'm going to watch the world self-destruct. My name is Chuck Reeves. I'm the Beast Host. And the beard has spoken. The Beard Speaks would like to thank our sponsors, BeardLove. Visit mybeardlove.com/beasthost and get 10% off on all the wonderful oils, washes, and balms available in a multitude of fragrances from BeardLove. Did you ever wish you could have a beard just like Chuck Reeves, the Beast Host? Well, you can't. You just need time, you need laziness, a desire never to shave, and then, of course, you need some beard love. mybeardlove.com. And also, 7thDimension720.com, your online home for all things kratom, e-liquids, and CBD. Pretty soon, they're going to be featuring coffee. Make sure you visit 7thDimension720.com. This guy is the underground home for all natural, holistic things. 7thDimension720.com.